All right, so this presentation will only be me, and I am choosing Montessori. Montessori. So let me just get my screen share. There we go. And I'm just going to, oh, oops. There it is. All right, so I chose the Montessori approach, mostly because it is one of my favorites and I think it's really effective. So the whole basis of Montessori is that each child is unique. They are their own they are their own person, their own personality, their own likes and dislikes. Um, and we can't generalize them. Um, that's basically the whole idea of Montessori. Oh, there it is. It is basically for Maria Montessori. She's the first Italian woman to get a degree. She thought that it would be best if we took advantage of children's sensitive periods, and she defined a sensitive period as periods of learning when children are sensitive to stimuli. So, we've all seen kids develop really, really fast within only 1 year. They come into the classroom not really knowing the alphabets, then they come out, spelling. It's they learn really, really fast. Another word that she had for sensitive periods is by describing children or this period as having an absorbent mind, which is basically her describing how young children are naturally uh, geared to learning. They have a natural desire to learning and exploring their surroundings. So yeah, as you can see here, an alternative would be absorbent mind describes young children's active natural learning styles in their early years. So Montessori also has stages of development. I have taken uh, a lot of our education classes here, and I have seen a lot of birth to 6 and 6 to 12. I've seen a lot of those where when there's more details on it, but this is the overall, like the overview of it. So from birth to 6 is where we will encourage sensorial exploration. So um, the PowerPoint here says creating their own intelligence. So it's just letting them explore their environment, letting them, go outside, roll in the grass, stuff stuff like that, letting them feel different textures, different sizes, letting them explore um, like the classroom, indoors, outdoors, all that kind of stuff. And then from 6 to 12 would be the conceptual exploration, which means they're developing their power of abstraction and imagination. So, dramatic play is amazing. It's also for birth 6 as well. Um, they also start to learn math. So something abstract in math would be fractions, something like that. And then from 12 to 18 is the humanistic exploration, where they are trying to understand their own place in society and how they can contribute. Um, so that would be, like for high school, for your credits, you can do, oh, what's it called? So community service, stuff like that. Um, they also want to join different groups. So, in middle school, that's when they start choir, when they start drama, when they start music, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then 18 to 24, I'm actually 20 right now, so I'm in this stage. This is specialized exploration where you seek your niche. So that would be me specializing in education. Or, when you're 18, you're probably what? Just graduating high school, you're choosing which major you want to learn, what you want to do with your life, that kind of stuff. And then why Montessori is unique is because they use unique methods. Um, they're very geared towards children, which sometimes in schools today, they don't really do that. Their materials are different as well. You see a lot of, like, if you go to Target stores and stuff like that, and you go to the baby section, you see a lot of colorful toys that just scream sounds at you. They don't really have those kinds of materials. I actually have pictures, um, like near the end of the presentation, but a lot of them are more muted colors. A lot of them are uh, didactic, so like children can explore without having the adults have to guide them. And teachers are trained to follow Montessori guidelines. So there's a whole process that teachers have to go through, all that kind of stuff. So here are the 6 things that make Montessori unique. And this is actually from our textbook right here. So number 1 is teachers are specially educated in Montessori philosophy and methods. They also prioritize partnerships with family. So I do know a lot of schools here, they do show and tell. They go or they try to get parents from different cultures, different jobs and occupations come in to explain what they do, all that kind of stuff. Um, that's really good. What I think Montessori does, well, the one thing that Montessori does is kind of like step it up a little bit and try to incorporate Montessori into the home and the families as well. And the third one is it's multi-age heterogeneous groups. So when it comes to preschool, usually like 4-year-olds are placed in one class, 5-year-olds are placed in one um, class. This one in Montessori, they team up the ages, they combine the ages. Um, and so it gives the younger students chances to learn from the older students and the older students a chance to teach and communicate ideas to the younger students. The fourth one is didactic Montessori materials and experiences that are carefully presented and sequenced in children's needs. So didactic basically means they are self-correcting. So if you've ever seen those pegboards, stuff like that, those are didactic materials. What they mean by carefully presented and sequenced in children's need is that it is presented in a way that would interest the children, and sequenced in children's needs would be introducing it at an appropriate time. One thing I know Montessori does really well is that they will observe the children to see what they're interested in. So maybe a lot of the students are interested in the outside. And so maybe then that could trigger the teachers to start a life cycle exploration or animal exploration, plant exploration, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And the fifth one is schedules that allow large blocks of time to solve problems and become deeply involved in learning. I myself did not really have that. It was quite fast paced. But Montessori allows, not their schedules allow for children to really get into their play, really get into think about solving problems, and they try not to stop in the middle of it, or not, they try to give children enough time to get into the mode to solve their problems and to become deeply involved in what they're learning or what they're doing. So let's say art, 10 minutes on art, that's nothing. Um, it'll be like 45 minutes, something like that. They'll just start going because I know that some children are also shy as well. So maybe in the first 15 minutes, they won't really do anything, but then they'll get into it much later on. And then the last one is a classroom atmosphere that encourages social interaction for cooperative learning. So that would mean like not cramped, not cramped spaces. An open space. I have pictures in at the end of the presentation to show the layout of a classroom of a Montessori classroom, and I think looking at it, even I would feel comfortable. Yeah. So curriculum materials. I mentioned before that uh, they really like didactic materials, things that are self-correcting, like the pegboards, sensorial, so things that will help the children develop concepts of size, shape, color, texture, weight, smell, and sound. So that could be bells, different instruments, that could be having things in different sizes, um, having different shapes around, different colors, different textures, so sand, water, like those kind of like the sensory tables. Weight could be, weight's a bit hard, but I guess it could be anything really. Yeah. Conceptual would be concrete academic materials that introduce students to reading, writing, mathematics, and social studies. I think the easiest example I can give would be picture books or any type of books, because we have so many different books now that it teaches so many different things. So yeah. And one last thing that Montessori believed in was teaching practical life skills. So washing dishes, sweeping floors, uh, watering the plants, the things that students or people will need to be able to do in order to survive. I do know cooking is really, really important as well in Montessori. And I found this really helpful um, graphic organizer that basically highlights the 7 Montessori principles. Um, so play is work, prepared environment, observation, freedom within limits, respect, hands-on learning, and independence. So the first one, play is work. Montessori believed that play is how children learn due to their natural desire of knowledge. So if you ever see children uh, in dramatic play, let's say they're playing store, right? Someone's the cashier, someone's buying something. That is them learning how to navigate an interaction and how the real world works. So they go to the store with their parents, they see it happening, and they can go to school and they can reenact that, not environment, interaction. There we go. Words. Um, prepared environment. Um, this I got from a website. It's linked on the last slide. They say environment of beauty. So like when you look into a classroom, it's like really aesthetic, but the aesthetic has a purpose. And that's basically what Montessori is. Allows for free movement and independence, should be structured and have order. So let's explain free movement and independence. Uh, this could be furniture that is kid size, so little chairs, little tables, little couches, so they don't have to climb up and struggle to get up to sit. It could mean, big open spaces. So instead of having the tables all crammed together, really closely together, if the classroom allows it, try to space it out, that kind of stuff. So then they can walk around, have enough space. And small spaces for me it gets really stressful. And I think kids get stressed in small spaces as well. So, something that makes the room look big and free. Um, should be structured and have order. So what that means is we don't have uh, playstations in random corners or random areas of the classroom. One station is for the big dramatic plays, or one where you can get loud. One place could be for sitting down, having some quiet time. On the far side could be a little nook for some privacy, that kind of stuff. There's actually, again, I have photos at the end of the presentation to show the layouts. And then independence encourages exploration and teaches toddlers responsibility and accountability. So responsibility could be for when we teach students their practical life skills. So let's say they spill some water. That's no big deal. They deal with that action by getting a mop, cleaning it up, or getting a rag and cleaning it up. Yeah, that kind of stuff. And then hands-on learning, children are able to learn new things effortlessly and unconsciously through environment and provided materials. So it shouldn't be anything that's really hard. Like, we shouldn't be giving concrete material or conceptual material to children in preschool, like pencil and worksheets, those kind of things is a no-no. They should be learning through hands-on activities. So if you ever have cards, one activity that I saw was they were like, it's a circle, and it's divided into 10 sections, and each section has like 1 dot for number one, 2 dot for number two, and then there are like little pegs, like little clips that are numbered, and they can match the clip to the number of circles, like those kind of things. I think those are really cool, and that's actually how children learn, rather than sitting them down, showing them the order of from 1 to 10 and have them memorize it. Did I? Yes. So observation. So observation is more for the teachers. You observe to notice what their interests are, so we can provide appropriate activities and support development. So just like I said, if they are going outside and they show interest in a plant or an animal, that could prompt us to learn about the life cycle of plants and animals. If they are really interested in the playground, going down the slides, or if they're dropping things from the slide and they notice that some things are slower, some things are faster, that could lead us to exploring motion and forces, that kind of stuff. And then freedom within limits. So that is giving opportunities to choose freely from pre-approved options that are good for them. So let's say an example would be, we can either silently read or read in a group, that kind of thing. So they have the freedom to choose what is given to them. So it's not like letting them run free and doing whatever they want. They have choices and they can choose which one they feel like doing. That way, we're not forcing them to do anything they don't want to. So it's like, let's say if you're a parent, you might think freedom could be letting them have ice cream whenever. Freedom within limits would mean you can have ice cream on the weekends, stuff like that. Not every night for dinner, which kind of sounds amazing. And the last one, the seventh principle of Montessori, is respect, which is mutual respect between child and adult, recognizing that each child is a unique individual. And that basically really nicely explains Montessori in like a couple words: respect. So mutual respect between child and adult, meaning they're nice to each other, they listen and they respect one another. And teachers should recognize that each child is a unique individual, um, where like you don't group a whole class and be like they are all interested in this, or they should all learn this, or they all know this. It's more, we know Sarah knows this and Dave knows this, and we're gonna uh, work together to do something new, stuff like that. And then this is actually a plan that I found on a Montessori school website. So uh, here, as you can see, there's small groups right here: practical life, sensorial, mathematics, language, and science. So they practice that. You can see that they do different things. They don't only just do math and uh, language. They do music and movement. They do large groups. So there's large groups and small groups that allows them to get to know a lot of a lot of their classmates. It allows them to learn how to interact with different ages and different people. And there was one that I saw that I liked. Which one is it? Oh, outdoor activities right here. So PE, like you do a lot of running, jumping. Um, I really do wish that middle school and high school have recess as well, because I think that's really, it's good to get moving. So right here is a picture of a Montessori classroom. I know that a lot of, like, realistically, a lot of classrooms are not like this because we have a lot of students and don't have much space. But for specifically a Montessori classroom, as you can see here in the middle, I was pointing out to it, you can't see it. As you can see in the middle right here, that is like a PlayStation. Um, I'm sure out of frame is some learning centers that they're currently doing. A lot of it is wood. It's aesthetic, uh, but functional. It really is quite inviting. And you can see here we have um, baby-sized chairs or toddler-sized chairs. Um, they're just so our students and our children can move freely within the space that is provided to them. And here is another example. The reason why I chose this picture was because there's like a little nook right here. That means this area, it like divides the area and it gives some privacy to our students or to our children. And then this here is some examples of didactic materials or Montessori materials. Uh, so if you look at the beads right here, I found one where like there's like little divot in the sizes of each, so they can line them up correctly. The one below here is like hanging, and you can see the numbers as well, so they're learning. And there's also a triangle, so they can put the one on top and what I presume to be a 10 or a 9 at the bottom. And then the pegs, I think everybody knows the pegs. This one right here is pretty well known. This is actually new. If you can see the shades, the blue, the pink. I think that's really, really cool because it really it really encourages students to notice the different shades of the um that exists. And it's also really pretty as well. So I think it's really gonna attract students and children to explore. And the last one right here, I'm not sure if you can see, but within these shapes, so like right here, there are two, oh no, three different little blocks, and they um, put them together to make that shape. Same thing for the middle circle right here. Same thing for this and this. It allows the students to try to fit in multiple pieces into one shape, and that could, uh, and when you take it apart, if teachers are looking and they're providing some guidance or they're just giving out some information. So let's say like right here, each of these individual pieces could be a diamond. This makes a square, but each of these pieces, that's a rectangle, that kind of stuff. So yeah. And the sources, is our textbook, Developmentally Appropriate Practice, and a website that I found called Montessori Up. If you want to check it out, I think it's a great website. It has like different activities, different Montessori materials, um, different strategies. So I think it's if you have time or if you're just curious, I do recommend going to this website. So we've got that done. And yep. Um, that's basically it. Uh, thank you for listening. I hope that was around 20 minutes. I'm not sure, but hopefully, hopefully.